Hello and welcome to another update video about MATIC. In all the currently depressing crypto market, it is quite nice to sometimes be able to focus on a crypto that actually has a really good chance to go up from here. And one of these is MATIC. I did talk about AVAX before, of course, and now MATIC as well. I did mention it before that MATIC is looking quite bullish. There is a risk that it goes down from here because this structure to the upside is starting to get a little bit corrective. But with the latest green candles here, I think we are now at a tipping point. Just want to let you know what I think, what my thoughts are. As you know, we've hit so far all the target levels. On the way down, we came into this one here, only very briefly, but we hit that target level. On our way up, we came into this one here, only very briefly, but we hit it. On our way down here, we came deep into this target level and found support at the lower end of the target level. So all these target levels I gave you before we came into them, and that worked out really, really well. Now, the good thing is that we did find support down here at 178 or 175. Within this target area, two of my buy orders were triggered. You can find them on Discord, every channel member. You know, if you're interested, feel free to check it out. There's a link in the description that will take you to the join area, to the membership area. So two buy orders were triggered, then came all the way up here. I told you at 215 that I was going to sell some of my MATIC that I gained down here in with these buy orders. At one was at 178, so very, very exactly at the low. And then we came all the way up. I said, this looks to me too corrective for me. I'm going to get rid of 50%. Then we dropped down. Buy order was triggered again at 195, perfectly at the low. And then we moved all the way up. Now we're at a tipping point. So because I told you that this looks a bit corrective, this move up. So maybe a little bit more history about that. I did tell you before that if we find support in this target area here, and then we start to go up and start to build an impulsive move to the upside, this could be very, very bullish because the foundation that you build here of higher highs and higher lows could then really lead to an extended wave to the upside, basically an extended wave 3. That could really push us here into areas of around, probably around $4 and maybe even higher, if that is going to play out. If we drop below this area, it gets less likely. And then if you drop below 145, this unlocks much lower prices all the way down to $1 and maybe even lower. At the moment, it's looking quite good for MATIC again. And in my last video, I said when we came up here after I bought again at 195, that this could be another impulse to the downside starting. Because what you have, you come from the high here where we came into the target area very briefly only, but we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. After a 5-wave structure in any direction, you get an ABC that moves into the other direction generally, based on the Elliott Wave method. Then you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again in the direction where you started. So going with a higher level trend. Now, what are we doing here now? We are basically doing this, aren't we? The next steps could be, and that's what I told you in the last video, next steps could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. But we are now just in the process, or we are just where the previous high was. And to be honest, we very, very briefly went above the previous high. It's not very clear though, but we made a higher high. Just very briefly. That tells me how many buyers there are in the market, and that could invalidate that pattern, which is positive, because if you invalidate that pattern here to the downside, so what needs to happen if this is supposed to play out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you obviously go down. When you have that pattern, you go down from here and you make new lows in the end, right? So you actually want to sell from here. But because this wave 2 should not go higher than the beginning of the wave 1, and in this case it did that, even though very briefly, that definitely increased the chances that we're going to go up from here impulsively. So at the moment, I'm not gonna, because I bought back at 195, I'm not gonna sell these now, because I think overall long term I'm bullish anyway. So don't get me wrong. On MATIC I'm long term bullish anyway. So if we go down from here, I'm going to hold anyway onto it. But this has just increased the likelihood that we're going to go up from here dramatically, even though it was only very likely, very briefly. But we do have rules in the Elliott Wave count and the Elliott Wave method. And basically with that one candle, we made it above the previous one. Now this can happen. This could also have to do with liquidity or whatever, or just a small push. It's only a wick as well. Nevertheless, the highest price always counts. And let me just check, was it just a 5 minute? Yeah, I think it was just a 5 minute candle, but we did go higher, you know, and Elliott waves count on the high levels as well, on the lower levels, I mean, and it definitely looks positive, yeah, for further price increase now, because what you would have expected in this wave to the downside now would have been to find support, to find resistance here at the latest at the 0.887 Fib level at 218. Now we did overshoot that. We came all the way up to, where did we get to? 220, 221, yeah, even 222 nearly. So this is quite strong. And this is looking really good now for the price in my view. So yeah, my buy order was triggered. I'm gonna hold on to it now. Basically taking the bet here that we're going to go up from here. You know, anybody in what you would do, you know, if you were doing this trading, you know, you would probably set now a stop loss. If you know, I bought at 195, so I could set a stop loss here at around 191, you know, it'd be below the previous low where I bought. There's a technical target as well because it is below the 0.786 Fib level, so it's probably set it below 193, comfortably below that. So if we drop from here, at least I'm stopped out, but I'm going to hold on to it anyway in the long run. But I will consider profit taking if we go up higher from here and then take some of it out again. That's what I'm doing. And yeah, this could then develop into a very nice structure to the upside. If we get really here above 220, yeah, on a sustainable basis, this is a key resistance area where we currently are. This is going to push us higher. This can lead us again into this yellow target area here. Yeah, starting at 255, I think it was. I did have to move it slightly, but from the last video when we hit it, I would need to draw the fibs again to really show that target area. I can do that for the next video, but I think it was around 255 it did start. So I think it was a little bit lower. We need to check the fibs again, but yeah, I think that's where it was. And because I had to readjust the fibs for this higher wave that we were in. But yeah, it's looking good. You know, if we break above 220, this is starting to get really interesting. So that's really on MATIC. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.